Hey, everybody. It must be Wednesday because here I am. Loving doing the show. It has been a crazy week here, but one that I would never give up. At this moment, I would like to give a little shout out to some people that are supporting me right now that I know are there. I want to give it a shout out to my amazing and wonderful, always making me laughing neighbor named Katie, our good friend Ryan, as well as Kelvin. And I believe I'd like to say hi to Stu as well. I've got these amazing people that have entered my life in the past, I think about months. And, you know, when people, it's amazing when you let the universe support and love you, how it just responds. For many of you, you already know, but some of you don't. I've lived in BC since March, so British Columbia, Canada. I can't talk, since March. And it was very lonely because my husband wasn't here. He was still in Alberta. So it was very lonely for me. And I kept saying, please, please send me good people, send me some friends. And lo and behold, I got an amazing neighbor, Stu, who then introduced me to the other neighbor named Katie, and it's just been so amazing, and I don't feel lonely anymore. So, you know, when you allow the universe to unfold, when you allow it to support you and love you and guide you, you're gonna rock it. And so, yeah, so that's what, and you know what, you keep learning how to manifest, you keep learning how to make amazing things happen in your life, and it's a daily process. I think, you know, even those that have mastered manifestation or mastered bringing love and support into their lives, every once in a while you still need that reminder. You still need that little check-in with your thoughts, because ego is a human thing and it always loves to keep us on our toes. So yeah, so this week has been really good. I hope you guys have been having an amazing week. Fall is most definitely in the air. We have had some campfires finally. For the longest time we couldn't have fires because of the fires in the area. But we've had campfires. And with sweaters on, to me, as much as I love the summer, I love fall too, because I get to bring out my big hoodies and I won't die of heat in them. I don't know if you guys are like that, but I definitely am. And then the rest of the week, I have my Embrace Your Intuition class this weekend, which I am super excited about as well. A big shout out to all the volunteers that are coming for free readings with my students. I cannot express how much I appreciate you volunteering your time. It's so appreciated, because I know that driving here is a little bit of a ways, so that's awesome. So I'm just going to keep talking until Dave, my amazing and wonderful producer, tells me that we've got a caller. It still boggles my mind. Like, I know I've only been doing this for about 2 months, but it still boggles my mind that I get to say things like, yeah, I have a producer that he rocks my radio show, and I love it. And the fact I get to say I have a radio show is even really even that much cooler. So part of the reason why I'm so busy is in not next week, but the following week, I will be headed to Ireland. So I'm really excited to see the energy that is offered in such an old, ancient, mystical land. I'm sure many of you would agree that I think Ireland is the home of the elementals, of the fairies. Yes, I believe in fairies. I'm okay with that. I'm just going to let Dave know that I'm ready for callers. I'm super excited that they're going to be calling in today. I feel really good things. Something else that is really interesting that I find, even as an intuitive, I still have to work and be like, I've got this amazing ability and I'm of great service to the world. So remember, whatever you are doing in life, whether it is a cashier at a grocery store, whether it is a garbage man or woman, or people are going to laugh at this, a lawyer or a doctor, you are doing amazing service in this world. So we'd like to thank all of you as well. I hear we have Desiree in San Antonio, Texas. I am super excited to talk to her. Hi, Desiree.
Hi, how are you?
I am so good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful now. Thank you for choosing me.
You are so welcome. I'm always so excited when people, spend their time to call and have a great time with me. It makes my show a good success, so I always appreciate it as well. And as I was, I was shuffling cards for you, and two actually just dumped right out. The very first one, I always like this one. It's so cute. I think it's really sweet. It's called Caring Connections. And honestly, the first thing that comes up into my head, like the very first message I get, is I keep wanting to tell you, you're creating that really good connection. And Interestingly enough, Desiree, I want to say like, my ego is totally on overdrive right now, but I totally want to be like, I feel like, have you just recently met somebody that you've brought into your life?
I have actually, his name is Josh, but, yeah, I just got out of a 9-year relationship and I've known, this guy, the new one, pretty much my whole life, but I mean, we started talking and we're getting to know each other a little better, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Oh, I love it. I should be used to how spirit works and how card works, but it's still to this still to this day blows my mind how cards work. And you know what's funny with the Carrying Connections card came the action card. So
oh, wow.
I literally want to tell you, don't hesitate. Don't hold back. Enjoy this. I wouldn't say like rush into it, but enjoy it. And there's a really big difference there between rushing into something versus enjoying the process. And it's important for you to enjoy it because to me, this relationship is allowing you to create healthy boundaries. Whereas in your previous relationship, your voice wasn't worth much. Would you agree with that? Like, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay. Oh, is that a little one? Do you have a little one with you?
Oh, yes. She's going to sleep right now.
Oh, that's so awesome. No, and that's totally good. And yeah, I keep wanting to, like, I really want to tell you, like, this is a really good thing. And I actually want to say, like, don't let fear hold you back. Because even though this person that's just come into your life in a more significant manner, like, I want to tell you, like, don't be afraid of ruining your friendship because your bond is really strong. It's always been there. And you actually feel like he's the first man that you've actually been able to be yourself with. Does that make sense? Would you agree with that? Okay.
It makes sense in all ways, yes. In all areas. Because, I mean, I was in a relationship where he was, you know, the guy that I was with for 9 years, he was a narcissist. So I couldn't see myself in any kind of way. So, yeah.
Right. Desiree, I do have somebody stepping forward for you as well. Has your grandma on your mom's side passed?
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
Okay, she's coming in. I can smell amazing spices with her. She must have been an amazing cook.
Oh my God, yes. She was the chef of the family. Everyone craves her cookies and, you know, everything. Yeah. Thanksgiving, all that.
Perfect. I love that. The other thing that she shows me is that I feel like she was the person that she wasn't afraid to speak, but when she spoke, you really listened because she came in with wisdom and love. Would that make sense for her as well?
Totally.
Okay. So she really wants you to understand that she is with you, especially right now. And what's really cool is I really want to be like, you've got this. She's got your back. She's going to support you. And she keeps talking about nighttime is the hardest time for you because that's when you're not distracted by things because you think a lot more during the nighttime, which is robbing you of your sleep. And this is funny. She's like, the reason why you're cold at night is because you don't have enough blankets on. So make sure you get blankets on because she's like, you know, that's the grandma thing to do. Make sure you're nice and cozy. And then she wants, you to remember that you're never alone, but using distractions to keep your mind busy in the long run is not going to do you any good. Like you actually need to focus on things that are bothering you and understand that even if you don't have a solution to them, you still need to face them. So whether you face them now or face them later, whether you have a solution or not, simply acknowledging that those issues are there is half the battle for you. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. I just picked up this book and a picture of her fell out of the book. That's really crazy. Wow.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I never believe in coincidences. It's all synchronicity. It's all spirit. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I think that's amazing.
Yes, it is.
I love
wow.
That. Love it.
Thank you so much for that. I wanted to hear from her. Thank you.
You are so welcome. And don't worry, we still got lots of time. So it's like, if you're okay staying with me, I'd like to hold on to you a little bit. Perfect.
Yes, I'm yours.
Hey, Yes, perfect. I like people that are so easy and accommodating. That's awesome. But with the other thing that I want to talk to you about with the action card that comes up, Desiree, is I feel like you're actually usually a very physically motivated person. Like you get out, you like to get out walking, you like to get out and do physical things. But part of that with all the stress that you're going on through has kind of gone to the wayside. But what you have to understand is doing that physical stuff is actually not only making you physically stronger, but it's making you emotionally and mentally stronger as well. So even if you can only go for a small walk around the block, please do it. It's really important for you physically to be able to do all that stuff. Does that make sense?
It makes so much sense because I've just been telling myself every day I need to get out there and start walking, exercising again, you know. I don't want nothing to hold me back anymore. I want to get in shape and all that. So yes, it makes a lot of sense.
To me, don't focus on the getting in shape part because, like for you especially, because that's daunting. That feels like it's one more thing life is demanding of you. What I would encourage you to focus on is the mental clarity, being like, this is just going to make me feel better. When I'm stressed out, I know I can walk it out. And when you understand it as a more of a healthy support for you, it gets easier to do and it's not so daunting and it's not like you're failing at something again. So forget about the health, like the getting in shape part. Just view it as like we eat every day because our body needs it. You need to walk every day, no matter how long it is, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or even longer, because that for you is when you breathe in the fresh air and you can like get yourself away from the stress of your environment right now, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Perfect.
That's exactly what I'm going through right now.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad that we got to talk and we're still going because I still don't, we still don't have another caller. So as long as nobody else calls, you are here with me.
Awesome.
So the other card that, so the first two came up for you. And then as we were talking, I was like, oh, I need to pull another one for her. And it's the community card. And I love this card. I'm trying to make sure, there we go. That's a little better on the screen. But for you, I want to tell you to call in your tribe of women. It's not necessarily like your neighbors and stuff as your community. I want you to rally around the women that inspire you, that love you, and not even ones that you know. Like I would even say, like, find somebody that inspires you, that maybe has written a book or that like is on Facebook, or people that do quotes, like somebody that inspires you that's of the feminine energy. And that will help you understand that you're not the only one going through stuff. And not that you're sitting in a hole being like, oh, poor me, but sometimes women need to gather around other women in our lives, just the energy or their name or whatever, because it makes us stronger as a unit. Women are very powerful. And I think as women, we forget that we're the givers of life. We're like, we've got so much power behind us, but we're stronger together than when we're standing alone. So I would encourage you to find a community tribe, whether it's by friends, whether it's an internet community or whatever. Just make sure you don't stand and do this by yourself. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, it does. Thank you. Yes.
Awesome. You're so welcome. Desiree, is there anything else I can help you with?
I mean, my grandma came through. That was really important for me. She was like my mother. She was the one who raised me and who was there for me through everything in my life. She died May 5th, this past May 5th, and for her to come through means a lot. There's another person who is on the other side. I just wanted to know if he's around as well. It's my father, my dad, and I just wanted to know if he's around me.
Sorry, you said it was your dad. That's
you know.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you. Did you say it was your dad that's passed? Is that correct?
Yes, he passed in 1999, but I just wanted to know if he's around me.
I feel like, so I just have to do this really quick, Desiree, because unfortunately I do have somebody else that's waiting, which is fine. But I feel like his passing was very like sudden. Like I keep hearing like heart attack or just something like really sudden that took him unexpectedly. Would that be correct?
It was cirrhosis to the liver, and I found out 1 month, and then after that month that I knew, he died. And so that was really sudden. Because I didn't expect him to die. We just thought he was going to get a transplant. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where the sudden and unexpected comes in. Okay, so I'd be lying to you if I said I had a really strong connection, but the fact that I feel like it was really sudden. And did he have a mustache? I keep seeing a mustache.
He had like a goatee type of thing, like a goatee. Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
Okay, just a little bit of facial hair above his lip, though. Would that be right?
Yes.
Okay. I do feel like he is there, and if I had more time, I would give you more. But he's really on the quiet side of life. I would say that he it's almost like he's embarrassed for what happened. Does that make sense?
I guess it could. I'm not too sure. I mean, yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
guess
sorry.
so. I guess so.
Oh, okay. Okay. If I had more time with you, I would be able to explain more of that. But unfortunately, I do have to get to our other caller. But I'm so grateful that you called and that we were able to connect you to your grandma and I was able to give you the advice that you had. So thank you so much, Desiree. And I am sorry for your losses. You are so welcome. And just know that all your loved ones really, really are with you. I promise.
Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Desiree. You too. Bye. And I see that we have Alicia in White Plains, New York. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Sarah. How are you? Thank you for, your reading.
Oh, you're so welcome. I am so good. I love your voice and the way I love people from New York because you guys have your own unique way of speaking, and I just love it. I love it. I think it's absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
How is your day? Oh, you're welcome. How has your day been so far?
My day's okay. I've just been going through a lot of decisions lately. And, I am just very confused about where to go right now. I'm just very confused.
You're going to love this because as we were talking, literally the card that popped up for you was the anxiety card. Makes a lot of sense. You're going through a lot. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of thought. But the interesting thing that I keep wanting to say to you is stop worrying about the outcome and stop worrying about making a wrong mistake. There it is. I was like, I just want another card to pop out because I feel like there's more to tell you. So with anxiety, I do believe that there are some disorders out there where people need medical assistance, but I don't feel like you need that. Although I'm not a doctor, I don't claim to be. But I keep wanting to tell you, I feel like your anxiety is more about trying to do everything right, not disappointing anybody, worried about the outcomes. Like I keep feeling like you start with a little small ball of worries, but then it kind of feeds into bigger ones. And that's okay. It's just a habit. I think it's been something that was kind of taught, something that you learned that's how you deal with things. Does that make sense?
Yes, I was really meeting like my love life. It's very up in the air, and I don't know whether I should stay and try to make it work or what.
Okay.
I'm just so confused.
So the other card that popped up, I know I'm kind of excited and I'm sorry that you're going through this, but I just love how cards work, is literally the other card came to, literally was door to romance or is door to romance. So there's a lot of anxiety about that and a lot of door to romance. But what's interesting about the door to romance card is it's a heart caged away and it's locked away. And the cool thing about that is what I want to tell you. Okay, let me see. I have to get this totally straight. I would not be comfortable in telling you it's time to walk away. And the reason why, like the choice is totally up to you, of course. But the reason why I would be like, I don't think walking away is the right thing to do at this moment, simply because I feel like you're protecting yourself and protecting yourself a lot from love. And I actually want to tell you, and I really want you to listen to this, is you are worthy of love. You are worthy and you are worthy of love, and you need to learn how to trust it. I almost feel like love and fear are very close together for you, like something that you were taught from growing up. Would that be correct?
Yes, probably.
Okay. And that's okay. And the good news is that you get to decide whether you want to stay in that vibration or whether you want to move forward. The other thing that I keep hearing is whatever you want out of the relationship, you have to bring to it. I know for myself, I was the worst for being like, well, my husband's not romantic. So, that just sucks. And he's sucking at this and blah, blah, blah. But then I realized I don't really bring romance to the relationship either. So if I want something, I need to bring it to it and understand that you're worthy of that. But then I think you also have to decide for yourself where your boundaries are. And I think that's why I'm feeling like my reading is a little bit honestly, I feel like it's a little bit ambiguous for you because I don't think you know where your boundaries are and what your expectations are. If you know where your boundaries are and what your expectations are out of a relationship, then you'll know without me telling you or without spirit telling you whether it's time to stay or go. But I also think that a lot of honesty needs to happen in this relationship. I think you've held back a lot for fear of making a really tough situation worse. But I think you have to not just get honest with the other person that's involved, but honest with yourself. And sometimes being honest with ourselves is the scariest thing to do. We're the scariest people to be honest with, but you really need to do that. Would you agree with that?
Yes. I know what you're talking about when you said that, you have to get into the relationship in order to get back. And it was sort of stale for quite a while, and I picked up and I tried to work on it, but I feel like the other person checked that a long time ago, and I just can't get the other person to be on the same page.
Right. The thing is, and I totally get what you're saying, and I don't want to be dismissive of your feelings or anything like that. But the thing is we are only in control and can only be in control of ourselves and what we want. So what I would encourage, irregardless of that person, again, I feel like you have to decide what you want, whether it's with this relationship or not. If you already feel like you're kind of wasting your time or you're like, this isn't just, I think that needs to be an honest conversation and stuff, because we don't really know what that other person is thinking or feeling. So I think why I keep saying that there needs to be some raw honesty, raw discussion between the two of you, and just lay it out, because you have nothing to lose. At this point, you have nothing to lose. You can be like, look, I appreciate everything that we have been through in this relationship and everything that you have done. I appreciate everything I have brought to the table. I appreciate everything where we are, like everything that has gotten us to where we are. However, this is how I am feeling at the moment. I feel like I'm maybe not, and again, you can't talk about what they're doing, but you have to talk about yourself and be like, I feel like this is lacking and I'm not sure how to correct this or how we can come together. Is coming together an option for you? And if they're not willing to be honest with you at the same time, then I think you have to relook at things. But I still don't feel right being like, oh yeah, girlfriend, you need to scoot, like you need to move on. I think the bottom line is, if you don't figure out what you want and what your boundaries are and what your limits are, you're going to bring the exact same issues into any new relationship until you honor these ones, like honor the issues that are with you here right now, because they do follow us, because they're life lessons we have to learn, right? They're not fixed by any new beginning. It's great for the first little bit, but eventually those same issues will kind of pop up. Does that make sense?
Yes, I did have a conversation where I tried to be honest, but the other person just keeps denying everything. And I just can't get out of that state. It's almost like he's using up my time to have his own agenda in our time. And it's very frustrating because I can't get to sit down and get any honesty at all. So this is where I am.
Well, you know what? I think you're on the precipice of making a decision. I think that it will be supported. And to be honest, I did pull another quick card for you just to see if there any answers came from that. And it's Archangel Metatron. And Archangel Metatron, as well as the sixth chakra. And our sixth chakra is very much a connection to the universe and energy and spirit. And Archangel Metatron is very much about healing. So I feel like it's so interesting. Honestly, like I want to tell you something, but I'm like, man, I feel like she has to make this decision on her own. And I feel like spirit is like, don't say it, don't say it, because it has to be your own decision. But I feel like what you're looking for is validation that you're on the right path. But honestly, Alicia, I would tell you the only right path is the one where you're trusting your instincts. So if you were like, you know what? I have done everything I can. I feel like if I walked away right now, I would be totally comfortable with that and totally happy with that. Yes, I might have some doubts pop up, but I feel like I have done everything I can. Then it's time to move on. Again, I can't tell you that that's the right decision because I feel like you're still, you're not clear on those boundaries and limits. But once you are, and once you've done some healing on that and you trust your instincts, then you'll be able to move on with a clean slate. I hope that helps. Does that all help you?
So.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's so many times I want to give more, but honestly, I think you have to get really raw and honest about your boundaries and your limits for you to be comfortable to move on. Unfortunately, Alicia, I would love to spend more time with you, but I think Dave is about to tell me that I've got about 30 seconds to wrap things up. So I just want to say thank you so much. You are so welcome. Thank you so much for calling, and I wish you nothing but love and light.
Okay, bye-bye.
Right, bye. To everybody else, thank you so much for joining me. I love it, and love and light to all of you, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.